Middle of the summer, so baseball is the talk, especially here in Detroit with the best team in baseball. But the Lions were the best team in the NFC in the regular season last year. Training camp gets going at the end of the week.
Wow.
First day coming up on Saturday. That's whenever the veterans report.
Wow.
Well, why do you say wow? Excitement? That was a muted wow, I will say.
Oh, it just came quick. I can't believe we're already in football season.
I'm always, every time this happens, I'm always like, oh man, football season's coming up. Then I'm like, wait, that means summer's almost over.
Yeah, that is a bummer.
But it's a good balance because football season is always an exciting time.
It is. You're right.
A lot of exciting times in Detroit, though, with so many changes in the offseason for the good and the bad. Of course, there's all the coaching changes this team's had. But then defensively, hopefully, everything will be okay whenever it comes to the health perspective of this team. What are you most excited to see when things get going in Allen Park?
Can I tell you what I'm most nervous about?
Or let's go with that. Let's go the other way.
Because
sure.
right now I'm feeling more of a nervous energy, and I think that is reflected in the Lions fandom going into this season.
Every season.
Well, the last couple
year
years,
was high hopes.
The
Like,
last
it
couple
was-
years, like
Yeah.
when you're entering a window of contention, the most fun part is when you don't know how good you are and your team is getting good. And I feel like that's what the last 2 years were. The Lions exceeded expectations both times. They were really fun. They were kind of like America's team. And I'm worried that now we've entered the like expectations portion of this run. And the expectations portion of the run is also the part where you have the most danger of heartbreak and frustration. So if the Lions, they've had a lot of turnover, both coaching staff and player going into this season. So I'm excited for, to see Amon-Ra St. Brown and to see all the offensive weapons. But at the same time, I'm like, what if the offensive line isn't any good? And, what if the new coaches show that we really did need Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn? So there's a lot of questions for them to answer for me.
A lot of questions, Derek. A lot of questions. But I will say, I think that fans are experiencing the same thing that we have been experiencing for the last few years. While the Lions got really good and we were really kind of like, is this real? Is this going to happen? When is it all going to fall apart? Yeah. Entering this season, almost the same mindset. We're expecting the worst, right? We're like, oh man, this happened. There's no way they're going to be good again like the way they were before, right? Wrong, Derek.
Oh, no.
Wrong.
You're crazy.
15-2, though. We're not.
I'm not talking about that. No, forget
He's
the
talking
record.
about actually good.
I'm just talking about, will they contend for a Super Bowl? The answer is yes.
Okay.
They will contend for a Super Bowl because they have this. It's the same philosophies that brought them here. It's Brad Holmes. It's Dan Campbell. It's the culture of the team that they built. Everyone that they brought in from the beginning to now has fit the culture and has moved them closer to winning. And so I don't expect anything less. The coaches that they brought in, the draft picks, the free agents, all that stuff, I expect that to contribute to them continuing to win and continuing to build a contender that they are.
This is why we separate the two of you.
Yeah. I mean, I hope Ken's right. I do agree that that's within the, possible outcomes. I don't know. It's hard to see it right now with the way these last couple months.
And the offensive line definitely makes me nervous
Yeah.
because that is such a linchpin for this team and the ability to run the ball, the ability for Jared Goff to stay upright, have time in the pocket. If that doesn't exist, they're not the same team. Now, what I'm excited about is to see the defense healthy because that was just something the offense had to overcome all season last year. So maybe the offense doesn't have to be as good if the defense is better.
Yeah.
And they can still win games. They may not be as exciting, but they can still get to the ultimate goal. That would be the hope. I think this year is the Jahmyr Gibbs year. We kind of saw it at the end of last year. I think this year has the potential for him to be one of the best players in the NFL. It's just going to be, what's the offensive line do? Do they give him that opportunity, or does he get wasted because they're trying different combinations of things? There's more injuries, whatever the case may be. That's the part I'm most nervous about.
Can I change my answer?
Go ahead.
I'm most excited to see Aiden Hutchinson healthy again, just because what he was getting ready to do last season with the sack total was really special. And I think we're all kind of wondering what percent of Aiden Hutchinson are we getting back compared to what he was last year. And if it's 100% of Aiden Hutchinson.
And this team is confident that that's what it is.
That's
no
what they
doubt.
think. And if that's true, then, all bets are off. They could be as good as last year.
And he should have won Defensive Player of the Year last. At the rate he was going at,
Yeah.
that was Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
like
For sure.
material.
Yeah.
He was on like a record-breaking
Yeah.
pace. I mean, not even
And
just for the
I
Lions.
and I think about that too. Like he was obviously the biggest injury, not only for the Lions, but one of the biggest injuries you could see in the NFL last year. And just putting him back on the field as a threat, and he was winning time and time and time again. I heard it the other day. He was winning like 38% of his pass rushes. That is
that's crazy.
unheard of. If he can even come close to that again this year, I think this Lions defense could rise to the challenge across the board.
Have they done enough? Have they done enough to be better with the losses that they've had? I mean, the coaching losses are going to hurt.
Interior offensive line, because I think you're banking on Tate Ratledge being your answer at one of the starting guard spots or at center, depending on which way you see it.
Yeah.
I got to think that in-house, the Lions clearly believe they have enough to run the ball effectively, to protect the quarterback, all that stuff. If they didn't believe that, I would think that they would have made a move in some way. So until I see it not working, I mean, they have a track record now. You know, they have a track record of success. So, you know, I'll give them some time to prove it, you know, before I'm, you know, too worried about it.
We got to see it all come together in training camp. But busy offseason, too. Quarterback dropped on Netflix. Ken and I watched it. Your biggest takeaway from watching Quarterback?
Amon-Ra St. Brown's number.
Yeah, that's the best part.
That's the best part. I heard about that too.
That is crazy. I mean, the fact that he's just number 14 for absolutely no reason is hilarious. I don't know why. No, actually, the biggest takeaway was mid-season when the defense was just completely falling apart, and you see the team meeting with Dan Campbell, and he just looks at Jared Goff and says, "This is on you now, buddy."
Yeah.
And, you know, publicly, Dan Campbell was very much like, our defense is going to be ready. You know, next man up, blah, blah, blah. And then in the team meeting, he's like, we're screwed, buddy. This is all on you. And I just thought that was really telling. And, you know, the offense did carry. I mean, Jared Goff was like, yes, sir.
And I think a lot of ways that message is going to be the same this year, just in a different context with Jared Goff, because I think the offense is going to need him to step up and lead the way. But the most surprising thing to me was how emotional we got to see Jared Goff, because so often he is this stoic person that's always at the podium saying the right thing. And whether it's in football, talking about his journey, coming to Detroit, and being selected and being wanted and appreciated, we saw that. We saw him get emotional about that. But then also he had a scholarship giveaway with some kids who had come to visit the facility, and you got to see a different side of him.
Yeah.
And I think that was the best part of the entire thing. And also the history behind the stumble bump play. That was really good, where
that was great.
Goff pretends to fall, Jahmyr Gibbs actually falls, and they throw a touchdown against the
Thanks
Bears.
to the Packers for that. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was Jordan Love. Thank
It
you,
was
Jordan
Jordan
Love.
Love.
Appreciate it. That's all the time we have on DSP. For Ken, for Ian, for Derek, I'm Hobie. We'll see y'all next time.